not vote?
Unless they've lived in the country for 3 years, I believe, is the law.
Okay.
You know, if someone stays in the country for that long, I believe they can vote. But right now, it's no voting. That's a fundamental difference.
Okay, most recently we have had, of course, Canada. We have always shared a very close relationship with Canada, and we could travel to Canada without a visa. Now people need a visa to go to Canada. We don't need to rehash the whole saga. But at the same time, that is the case. Why is this so? And has this weakened our program or made it less competitive?
It has, to some degree, has an impact on our program because a lot of applicants consider the fact that they get citizenship to go to Canada, you know, but a lot of times they don't realize that Canada gives them, yes, it's visa-free, but it's a 3-month visa and they're not there to live. Separate issue. I have taken an approach during my trip recently to emphasize the fact that visa-free access to Canada, not having visa-free access to Canada, does not mean not having visa access to Canada. It just means that you have to go through a visa process. And the visa process is roughly a 2-week process, and it does not require an individual to be present. Right? The applications can be done online, the passport sent out. So I think once we educate people that, you know, yes, we don't have visa-free access, but we have the ability to apply for a visa, that takes it away. So from a competitive standpoint, I think as we move forward and we start emphasizing this, it really should not have a major impact on our applications.
Okay.
And again, you know, I look at the competition in the regions, and maybe some people might say that's a reason, but in reality, we look at St. Kitts and Nevis, and everyone knows St. Kitts and Nevis as the brand, all right? the top performer right now in terms of efficiency. I heard it at a Henley conference in London recently. During my trip to Dubai, we were given 2 awards. One by Range for making all these changes and making life easier for them in their processing, and one by an agent in Dubai who basically felt that we had improved tremendously and our response time had been significantly enhanced. So we got an award for that. So as a result, you know, the message is going out, and we are back on track.
Okay. Now, 5 years ago, I think you alluded to it earlier, St. Kitts and Nevis had the only CBI program.
Yes.
Now, other countries within the region, such as Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, St. Lucia, and Dominica, have CBI programs, and you mentioned Malta, and you mentioned Cyprus. Now, I think Malta joined the program, and it has 166 countries that people can get visa-free access to. This has made the competition stiffer, as you indicated. My question is, what is being done, or what plan is being orchestrated to ramp up our marketing strategy of the program?
At this point in time, our program is going through an evolution. We are at the stage of working on a rebrand. The government approved financing and the hiring of a marketing provider who is now working with us to rebuild our website. This is a key instrument in attracting applications, but more than just attracting applications and more than just showing a fancy website. It's about identifying where our future markets are.
Yes.
It's about identifying who our service providers are. They are who our marketing agents are. So creating this website is something that's going to take us to the next level and also make us more competitive. In addition, we have announced a number of things. Recently, we announced what we call an accelerated application process, which is a fast-track process. And we did this a few weeks ago. Cabinet approved it about a month ago. And we are getting really, really good responses from service providers and agents on this program. What we're doing is really utilizing our efficiency to increase our revenue.
Yes.
So with the accelerated program, we've negotiated with our due diligence providers, we've negotiated with National Security and the Passport Office, and everyone in the CIU unit is geared towards ensuring that our fast track, as we call it, application process works. So this gives us an edge over the others because they don't have it. They can't do it. Our recalibration efforts has now put us ahead.
Sure.
Whereas the other programs that are there are now experiencing the problems that we experienced. Volumes, lack of system, lack of controls, inability to turn it around. All right. So we are positioned nicely, and as we stay on point, we will ensure this goes on.
Sure. Now, does a person have to be over 18 years to get economic citizenship?
So you have a main applicant, all right, who could be over 18 years, as long as he or she has the wealth, source of funds to sponsor themselves. However, as part of a family, you can add dependents. So a main applicant, his spouse, and dependent children up to the age of 25 if they're in tertiary education. All right. So yes, you can do that.
And you pay for each person.
And you pay for the persons as you are based on the government fees. In addition, your dependents could be your grandparents after the age of 65 right now. And this is something that we're looking at.
Is there any requirement? Is that a requirement?
An individual must provide medical reports. If an individual is dependent on the main applicant for health reasons, they will have to show that they are, if they are over the age of 25.
Okay.
All right. So they have to show, we have to get the records to substantiate this.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay. Now, a number of countries in the region, including those that now have a CBI program, depend heavily on foreign direct investment. Of course, we know. We now have the CBI program, we have foreign direct investment. Is there any link between the CBI program and foreign direct investment?
Well, it all depends. I mean, obviously, the objective of, let's say, Skipper is to encourage foreign investment.
Yes.
All right. And the CBI program is also there to encourage investment. But the product that we offer under the CBI is citizenship, whereas an individual can apply. And remember, there are people who are purchasing properties in St. Kitts and Nevis who are not applying for citizenship. All right, there are people who are applying to open businesses and do different things on the island, and that's foreign investment too. So yes, it's two separate streams. At some point, we're going to start seeing things like tax advantages. How can people take advantage of various tax regions and so on? And these are all thought processes that that the government is going through right now, and some of the various products that are being considered as we go forward.
Okay, now there are basically two options for obtaining citizenship.
Yes, right now there are two. One is a non-refundable contribution to the SIDF, and that's $250,000 for a single applicant. Obviously, the number grows as the number of applicants grows, so it can go to 300,000, 350,000. the minimum investment on real estate. So that's the second option.
So the first option is a payment into the SIDF.
A non-refundable.
A non-refundable payment into
Right.
the SIDF.
Correct. Okay. The second option is a real estate option, which the investment must be a minimum of 400,000 plus government fees. All right.
Okay.
So
That's investment in real estate.
investment in real estate. Now, there are properties out there that sell for $1 million. There are properties out there that sell for $25 million that are being built and so on. And the one thing that St. Kitts and Nevis has is the range of investment real estate options. You know, from the condominiums to the hotels to luxury. And the luxury brand, you know, you can look at Christopher Harbour, you can look at Kitchen Hill as examples of these. The hotel brands, and this is an important point to note. St. Kitts and Nevis is in a unique position right now to be the leader in branded hotels in the Eastern Caribbean, with the Park Hyatt, the Hilton, Koi, Ramada, Embassy Suites. These are some of the brands, the Four Seasons out in Nevis.
Yes.
And there are others that are coming that might be boutique type of arrangements. So, you know, as I said, we're in a unique position, and you know, we are at a position that citizenship by investment on its own is not all that is going to promote the country or grow the country. It's going to be tourism, it's going to be diversified investments. And as a result, you know, the Prime Minister and his cabinet recently approved alternative investment options, which we are to roll out in a certain time period. And these involve agriculture, alternative energy, and so on, just to name a few. So there are initiatives. So we're not going to be just a two-product shop, you know, of real estate and SIDF. It will include other options.
Okay.
And these are the initiatives that the government is going through as we speak.
Okay, Mr. Khan, as it stands now, where are, in terms of applications, are we getting more applications for the non-refundable contribution into the SIDF or the real estate option?
The answer to that question is we've seen, actually in the last few months, we've seen growth in our real estate options.
Okay.
And therefore, you know, there's a move in the balance into the real estate.
But the majority has been to the SIDF because basically
In the past.
I'll be quite frank with you. All we heard about was SIDF. We thought that it was this, how must I put it, a source that never dried up. Never dried up or could not dry up. There was so much money being pumped into it, passing through it.
I think it's the way we've the whole program has evolved, and people, the investors, or call them the applicants are looking for the fastest route to citizenship in most countries.
Okay.
So nowadays they're also looking for the cheapest route. Now, we don't want to be the cheapest route. We will not engage in a race to the bottom. So the government made a decision, and supported by almost everyone I've spoken to, that we stay with our pricing. So 250 SIDF stays at 250 SIDF. All right. But you have Dominica at a much lower rate, and those individuals who want a very cheap option for a single applicant will go to Dominica.
Okay.
And has been going to Dominica. And our service providers, some service providers on the island, has been sending them to Dominica. So what we have to do is bring them back. And what we bring them back with is a value proposition. And the value proposition that the CIU now offers is efficiency.
How difficult will that be to bring them back?
I think we need to show up. we need to be there. We need to be at the conferences. We need to be doing the sort of engagement that the Prime Minister has been doing on the trips that I went to. Prime Minister Harris was in Hong Kong.
Yes.
All right. And when I was in London, Premier was in London.
Yes.
So, this all encourages and shows that we are out there. We're engaging with our agents, we're engaging with our service providers and potential clients and investors. And they want to see that, and I think that will do it, because I strongly believe that the brand is solid. St. Kitts and Nevis is a solid brand.
So it's not just about price; it's about quality.
It's about quality, and there are a number of quality in the seas and so on. And one of the things that I picked up in London recently was that the quality of nationality is something that St. Kitts and Nevis is very high when you compare to the rest of the countries around the world. And when you compare that to a Dominica, Grenada, and St. Lucia, who are very low, number 93, and we're being number 58,
yes.
Is pretty good. I think there are other things that are happening. The Attorney General just came back from South Africa with certain accolades. These
from Botswana, actually.
Yes, these are things that are going to put St. Kitts and Nevis at a higher standard, and when the investors are looking, the applicants are looking for a place to invest, they're also looking for stability, economic stability. They're also looking for a return on investment.
Yes.
All right, and St. Kitts and Nevis now offers a return on investment in its real estate properties of anywhere around 4.5%, which is pretty high. Okay, so these are things, considerations, but we cannot take our eye off the ball. The competition is there, all right?
And it's getting stiffer.
And it is getting stiffer. And, I talk a very positive game because I believe in it. And I believe that based on the information I get, based on what I'm hearing from my service providers, because we're engaging. Again, one of the models that we implemented in the unit is one of engagement.
Sure.
So we're talking to service providers on a regular basis. We're speaking to agents. All right. So this is something. Now, you also asked me about the decline in the SIDF, and we are about to launch another initiative, which is an international marketing agent initiative. Okay. Now, what this is going to do, and again, this is another proactive move to stay in line with the competition, but not only that, but to also help us in identifying our market opportunities, identifying who our service providers, who sells our product, where they sell it, and to whom. This is information we didn't have before. Yes. So with a combination of the new website that will give us all of this data, together with international marketing agents, and the approach that we are taking is one that is not just about competition. We're not trying to price up on the competition. What we're trying to do is put a process in place that allows us to manage our international marketing agents.
Yes.
But at the same time, give them an opportunity to be paid to bring applications into our SIDF.
Now, who are some of these international marketing agents? Do you care to speak about that?
Well, right now, the two names that most people will know would be somebody like Henley and Partners. It might be Apex. It could be CS Global. It could be Art and Capital, as people who promote programs.
What about IPSA? IPSA is not a marketing...
IPSA is not involved, and it will be a conflict of interest for IPSA.
Yes.
Because they do...
To reform.
Yeah. All of the service providers and developers have agents overseas who are marketing their product. We just don't know who they are. All right. So with the creation of the international marketing agent concept, what we will be doing is asking them to register with us. We'll put them up on our website. We will also ask to do due diligence on them. So we will know who is marketing our product. And it gives us a little more control. It will also help us identify who is marketing in which region, right? So if we notice a movement in applications to one region, we can say, well, what's our marketing agent and who is our marketing agent? Why is it happening?
Are they really promoting our interests?
Right.
Or are they promoting their interest?
Exactly.
Is a question.
So it gives us an opportunity. We know that sometimes out there, again, use China as an example. You have 4,000 or 5,000 agents.
Yes.
Right, and you hear stories about people selling citizenship, not St. Kitts and Nevis, but from a taxi. Well, you need to know who these people are and what they're actually selling.
Right.
And is it a scam? These programs have a lot of cash flow in them. So when that happens, you're going to have controls, right? And so therefore, the steps we are taking is one, as I said before, proactive, in the sense that it's not just about the competition; it's about the process. It's about being able to control who's taking our product and selling it.
Okay. Now, you mentioned about the two options before, the SIDF, a non-refundable payment into the SIDF, or real estate option. Now, can a person who becomes an economic citizen through the CBI program, through investing in real estate, resell their property? And if so, what are the conditions for doing so?
All right, so there is a requirement to hold the property for 5 years. All right, and the law was changed, I believe, back in 2012, which said that resales can occur after 2012, so 5 years after that, which would be 2017. So come 2017, there could be the possibility of individuals wanting to resell their investment through the CBI program, which means they resell it at almost the same price, depending on market value, but basically at the same price, and the person buying it will get citizenship. Okay. At that point in time, too, if the person opted to just sell outside of the CBI program, he can do that too.
Okay. Now, what are some of the future markets for our program?
I believe China will continue to be a major contributor to our program and around the world, as a matter of fact. I think we're beginning to see interest in Africa. And
any states in particular in Africa?
I can't pinpoint any right now. And the Middle East. You have to remember, wherever there is a sense of civil unrest and so on, that creates opportunities, and people with money are going to look for alternative options. And with that comes the challenge to the various CBI programs, how we manage our process. That becomes very, very important in the process.
Okay, good. Now I understand that there is an online application system.
Yes.
Can you expound on this?